Today, I'm going to explain a crime adventure film called Nerve. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Venus Delmonico has been accepted to the California Institute of the Arts. As she checks her emails, she reads the letter from the school, reminding her to submit her response regarding her admission. But instead of accepting the school's invitation, Venus types a short reply in the comment section, stating that she must decline. As she does, Venus takes a look at her mother's photo and continues to type that the reason she's turning down the invitation is that she's too scared to tell her mother that she wants to leave Staten Island forever. Venus receives a Facebook notification saying that JP Guerrero tagged her in a post. She opens it and sees JP's photo, with a caption telling everyone to attend the pep rally that day and thanking her for the picture. After clicking the like button, her friend Sydney video calls her. Sydney asks Venus what she's doing aside from stalking JP's post, and she claims that she's watching the news. Knowing her friend, Sydney calls Venus a liar, then asks her if she told her mom about her admission to CalArts yet, and Venus says she hasn't. In the middle of their conversation, Sydney excitedly announces that Nerve is starting, and when Venus asks her what that is, she sends her a link so she can watch the video. Venus learns that Nerve is a 24-hour game similar to Truth or Dare, except that it's all dares. People can join Nerve and become either a watcher who pays to watch or a player who plays to win. Sydney wants Venus to watch her play, so even though Venus finds the game suspicious, she promises to sign up. At breakfast, Venus tells her mom that Sydney hasn't gotten to any schools yet and that she doesn't seem to care. Her mother replies that she doesn't need to care since she has a trust fund. She adds that what Venus has is far more valuable, which is a scholarship to a local college. Given their financial situation, they can't afford a dorm, but her mother's optimistic since they'll still have each other as roommates. Venus isn't entirely on board with the idea of living with her mom while attending college, so she suggests fixing Mike's room to list on Airbnb. She continues to tread carefully as she tells her mother that it may be time to start going through Mike's stuff to donate them. Venus even adds that she can give her mom some space, but she rejects the idea without a second thought. Defeated, Venus could only say that she'll be fine with commuting. After talking to her mom, Venus goes to her brother Mike's room and finds a picture of him in the mirror. She removes it and takes it along with her camera before preparing for the pep rally. Venus goes out to the balcony, taking a sad glance at the harbor before finally leaving on her bicycle. At the pep rally, Venus takes pictures of the football team members, including JP. There, she finds Sydney talking to the watchers of Nerve on her phone, asking them to support her to get to the final round. Sydney goes back to her position with the other cheerleaders, and in the middle of their dance routine, she suddenly turns around and lifts her skirt, showing everyone her rear. One girl uses Sydney's phone to record her, and after finishing her little stunt, Sydney's phone shows that she has completed her dare. A series of clips are shown, revealing how players are supposed to record themselves while doing their dares. And if they succeed, they will earn money. Sydney is happy that she's continuously earning through Nerve while having dozens of watchers. Together with her friends, they talk about who's winning the game, which is a guy named Ryan. When Venus arrives, one of Sydney's friends tells her that the watchers are coming up with her next dare. Annoyed, Venus reminds her that she just got suspended and that she thought Sydney's already done with the game. Sydney tells Venus that playing Nerve is important to her and that she wouldn't understand because, unlike her, Venus likes to stay in her comfort zone. Venus disagrees with them, but Sydney starts asking her friends to come up with a hypothetical Nerve dare for Venus. At first, they dare Venus to make out with JP, but they take it back and dare her to talk to him instead. Venus refuses, so Sydney accepts the dare in her place instead. Sydney walks up to JP, saying that a friend of hers is asking if he has a girlfriend. When JP asks which friend, Sydney points to Venus, but JP says she's not his type. Humiliated, Venus leaves, and as Sydney tries to stop her, their friend Tommy tells her to let Venus go. Because of what happened, Venus signs up to be a player for Nerve. She learns that the players must film all their dares on their phones. The rules also state that players get eliminated by failing or bailing, and that snitches get stitches. After she finishes signing up, Venus accepts her first dare and asks Tommy to accompany her to Colonnade Diner where her dare will take place. Tommy can't believe that she signed up as a player and tells her that some kids had supposedly died while playing that game. Venus doesn't buy that and retorts that if kids are dying, then the game would be shut down. However, Tommy explains that it can't be shut down since there isn't a single server. He adds that every person who logs on to Nerve becomes a new server, making it impossible to turn it off. At the diner, Venus finds out that her first dare to win $100 is to kiss a stranger for 5 seconds. Tommy discourages her, but she does it anyway and approaches a guy sitting on one of the booths. To calm her nerves, she tries talking to him about the book he's reading, To the Lighthouse. With Tommy filming them, Venus decides to just go for it and kiss the guy, surprising him. Venus immediately gathers many watchers, and as soon as she completes her dare, she bids the boy goodbye and goes to where Tommy is sitting. When Venus receives her money, she and Tommy notice that the guy she kissed is gone from his table. They then see him dancing and singing around the diner, making them realize that he's also a nerve player. He says that he was instructed to sit on one of the booths when a kid showed up to give him the book. Venus says that it's her favorite book, and Tommy notes that all the watchers know all that about her because it's on her Facebook page. The guy, Ian, finds out what Venus' name is, and as he turns to leave, they both receive a dare to go to the city together. Venus says she can't go and that she's only doing one dare. Ian asks her if she's sure she can't go, and Tommy repeats that Venus can. He then asks if Tommy's always telling her what to do, to which Venus replies that he doesn't. Despite her initial rejection, she eventually agrees to go to the city with Ian. On the other hand, Sydney continues doing more dares and later finds out that Venus has signed up as a player. When Venus and Ian reach the city, they go their separate ways before Venus accepts her next dare. She goes to the same high-end store where Ian went while back at home. Her mom receives notifications in her phone. There, her mother finds that someone has been sending money to Venus. The watchers send Venus a picture of the dress they want her to try on. Inside the store, Venus asks one salesman where she can find it. The salesman sarcastically tells her that that dress is very expensive, but Venus ignores him. He eventually tells her where she can find it, and true enough, she spots the dress, which costs a whopping $4,000. Venus is about to remove the dress from the mannequin, but a saleslady stops her and brings another stock. With her deadline fast approaching, Venus quickly undresses and puts the dress on. Upon wearing it, the timer in her phone stops working, so she isn't sure if she completed the dare. While waiting for her timer to work, a suited Ian suddenly shows up to finish a similar dare. At Colonnade Diner, Tommy searches for Venus in Nerve and he finds her while she's trying on some expensive shoes. What Venus and Ian don't know is that another player named Ty is also at the store with them. He has accepted a dare from the watchers to steal their street clothes and other belongings. Once he's finished, Ty leaves and Venus looks frantically for her clothes. Ian calls her from outside the dressing room, informing her that his stuff is gone too. The two of them receive their next dare, which is to leave the store. Venus is adamant about not shoplifting, so the two end up fleeing wearing nothing but their undergarments. When they return to Ian's motorcycle, they find a shopping bag containing their expensive formal attires, paid for by their watchers. Meanwhile, Sydney calls Tommy to ask what Venus is doing and who the guy she's paired with is. Tommy says he doesn't know, and that's when one of Sydney's friends tells her that Venus is in the top 10 list of players. Concerned, Sydney asks Tommy to meet her so they can get Venus, and he agrees. For their next dare, Venus has to get a tattoo of Ian's choice. She asks Ian what will happen if she bails, and he says she'll lose all her earnings. Trying to be creative, Ian draws an image on a piece of paper and asks the artist to create a better version of it. While getting her tattoo, Venus opens up to Ian about her brother who died 2 years ago, right before starting college. She gets sentimental and mentions that her brother would laugh so hard if he saw her getting a tattoo. Meanwhile, Tommy remains worried about Venus, so he asks his friend to help him gather more information about Ian. The tattoo artist finishes his work, and when Venus sees her new lighthouse tattoo, she ends up liking it. After getting a passkey from his friend, Tommy searches the internet for any information about Ian. From there, Tommy finds suspicious comments about him and he learns that he's already played the game before. Tommy tries calling Venus to tell her about this, but she isn't answering. For Ian and Venus' next dare, they're supposed to ride a motorcycle in the city at a speed of 60 miles per hour with Ian blindfolded. Venus, of course, refuses to do it, but Ian begs her to stay. While they're talking, Ty shows up in an SUV and makes Venus hold a small sticker before taking a picture. As Ty leaves, he greets Ian, and when Venus asks Ian who Ty is, he says that he must be another player. On the other hand, Sydney and her friends watch on television as Venus and Ian complete their dare. Using the sticker from Ty to cover his helmet, Ian starts driving while Venus uses his body to steer. The two finish their dare once more and then they kiss, giving all the watchers except Tommy a shot of euphoria. Tommy continues to watch the dares from his car, and as he drives, Venus' mom calls him. She asks Tommy if he knows anything about the money Venus is getting, but Tommy lies, saying it's probably from her new job before quickly ends the call. As Venus and Ian continue their stroll around the city, Venus asks him why he's playing Nerve. He says he's doing it for his family because some things happened, and he wishes that they turned out differently. When Venus asks what it is, Ian dodges the question. Sydney tries calling Venus, but she declines, humiliating Sydney in front of the watchers. When Ian urges Venus to talk about Sydney, she says that she's tired of being her sidekick all the time. Ian takes a look at Sydney's photo on her phone, and instead of praising Sydney for her beauty, he compliments the image for its quality. Ian then finds out that Venus was the one who took it and says that Sydney looks insecure, which Venus agrees with. The watchers from around the city are recording them the whole time, so Sydney and her friends got to watch the entire thing live. Venus' popularity makes Sydney jealous, so she accepts a dare where she has to cross between two buildings using only a ladder. Sydney ends backing out while other players continue to play, but all of them ends up bailing or failing. Ty, on the other hand, completes a dangerous dare and gets first place. Venus and Ian show up to the party for Nerve players and watchers with loud cheers greeting them. When Venus looks for Sydney, she finds out that she's been eliminated from the game. She eventually finds Sydney in a room making out with JP, and the two start fighting. Sydney is mad about Venus calling her insecure with everyone watching. While Sydney is letting off some steam, Venus receives a dare to finish Sydney's challenge herself. Venus calls Ian to leave, but Sydney stops them, and the two girls continue arguing. Fed up with Sydney's attitude, Venus accepts the latter dare. She ends up succeeding, which bumps her up to the first place. When Tommy finally gets to talk to Venus, he tells her that Ian has played Nerve before and that it was his dare to take Venus to the party and fight with Sydney. Venus can't believe what she just heard, so she storms off, but Ian catches up with her. Venus asks Ian if it's true that he only took her to the party as a part of the game, but before he can answer, Ty shows up wearing a mask and takes a video of them. Ian grabs Venus' hand to run, and they hide in an elevator. There, Venus starts screaming about how she almost died playing the game. Ian says that it's complicated to explain, and this only makes her angrier to the point where she's threatening to report the game to the police. She storms off and finds a police officer outside. Venus immediately informs him about Nerve and what it entails. The uncaring officer simply asks if a crime is being committed, and Venus could only say no. As Venus tries handing her phone to the officer to show him all the videos, her mom receives another notification on her phone. All the money from their bank account is starting to go missing. This makes her call Venus as she's getting worried about what's happening. Meanwhile, the watchers at the party start yelling at Venus for violating one of the game's rules. Not knowing that Ian has already left, Venus starts leaving while telling her mom that she will fix the problem. As she walks away, Ty knocks her unconscious, and she wakes up in a container with walls painted with the words "snitches get stitches." There's a television with someone speaking, calling Venus their prisoner. According to the speaker, they now control her entire life, and the only way out is to win the final round. Venus is then instructed to go to the Staten Island ferry, where the watchers will find her. For the final dare, Ian and Venus have each been given a handgun, and whoever shoots the other wins the game. Meanwhile, Tommy and his hacker friends race against time to alter Nerve's code. The final dare begins, but Venus refuses to shoot. The watchers are cheering, Tommy is growing more anxious, and Ian begs Venus to shoot him, but she still refuses. The countdown begins, but it isn't until the last second that Venus fires at the ground instead of shooting Ian. A masked man from the crowd starts firing warning shots. After getting everyone's attention, he announces that he'll complete the dare himself. The man removes his mask, revealing himself to be Ty, and the watchers go crazy as soon as they recognize him. Venus tries pleading with the watchers, asking them if they really want the players to kill each other. She even starts calling them out and say that they should remove their masks and take responsibility for their actions. The watchers ignore her and continue to cheer, so Venus dares Ty to shoot her. Ty asks the watchers if they want him to shoot Venus, and while some voted no, some still voted yes. Venus' mom arrives at where Tommy, Sydney, and the hackers are, and she threatens them once more that she'll call the cops if they don't tell her what's happening. The majority of the watchers vote yes, so without warning, Ty shoots Venus. Venus' mother could only watch in horror as Venus falls to her feet. Ian panics as he shakes Venus, desperately trying to wake her up. The watchers stop cheering, and at that time, Tommy's hacker friends finally manage to alter Nerve's code. He sends everyone a message, saying they're now an accessory to murder. Terrified, everyone signs out, shutting down Nerve's server once and for all. Ty walks up to Ian and Venus, and as he closes the distance between them, Ian takes his gun with every intention to shoot Ty. To his surprise, Venus suddenly gets up and Ian learns that it's just an act. Once the last player logs out, Nerve officially goes offline. After that, Tommy's hacker friend assures Venus' mom that she'll get her all her money back. Ian and Venus leave the location of the final dare, and that's when Ian confesses to Venus that his real name is Sam. Unbeknown to them, a watcher is recording them from afar. Finally, Venus and Sydney work things out between them, and Venus accepts the invitation from CalArts.